Right then, here we have our tip section and we're going to night 2 in Cardiff. Last week we had a fantastic treble that won. It was enhanced to 5-2 with title sponsors Unibet. Hope you backed it, because if you did you would have made some money. To kick us off, we have Michael Smith against Daryl Gurney. What's your thoughts?
Well, Michael Smith got off to a winning start last week against a below-par Gary Anderson who was struggling with a back injury, but he then proved that that was no flash in the pan. He reached the final of Friday's UK Open qualifier in Wigan, went one better on the Sunday, beating Michael van Gerwen on the way to the title. His confidence is going to be sky high, and I fancy him as the value of the two to kick on and get the 2 points again there.
I agree. I think he's an absolute huge price against Gurney. Gurney hasn't fired at all yet this season, didn't at the UK's at the weekend, and I think there's value in Smith as a single bet alone. I don't know what you think.
Yeah,
on the single.
I agree. It's the value of the two there.
Agreed. Right, so second game we have Rob Cross against Simon Whitlock. Cross needs a win.
Yeah, it was always going to be difficult for him to sustain the standard that he showed at the Worlds. He was played an unstoppable MVG last week, so there's very little he could do there. Obviously Van Gerwen, a seasoned Premier League campaigner, but he struggled at the weekend in the UK Open qualifiers, and it's going to be a big test for him to bounce back. And you know, the longer it goes on where he hasn't registered that win in the Premier League, the more pressure is going to come on him. But see, Simon was the pre-tournament favourite for relegation, so Cross would have looked at this game before the season started and said, you know, this should be a banker 2 points.
Agreed. It'd be interesting to see if Whitlock can back up last week's result as well. Can he go and average 106 again? I don't think he can personally, and for me, Cross wins.
He's going to have to, you know, follow up Cross's leg-on-leg pressure, which, you know, could bring out a big average. Simon again had a good weekend, so he's full of confidence, and he's silenced the doubters last week.
No, I agree. Moving on, this game always has a little bit of spice. It's Michael van Gerwen against Peter Wright. I know they're always friendly to each other, but there's always that little bit of needle from a few years ago.
Yeah, Michael's got a great head-to-head record against Peter. He seems to have a bit of an Indian sign over him. As we discussed in the first show, he's a man on a mission this year, and he's come out and proved it so far. He won the Masters. He then extended that unbeaten run to 20-plus games. I thought it was a brilliant. Michael Smith stopped him. And I just think, you know, he's mastered this Premier League format. And, you know, if Peter Wright sticks with the same darts from last week, he is going to struggle. He's going to have to go back to the drawing board, choose a setup that's going to be right to take on Van Gerwen and come out and give it a go from the off.
To back singly, Michael's a little bit short, but for me, I'd take him on the handicap. Michael van Gerwen minus 2.5 legs for me.
Yeah, I think he wins comfortably. He's going to overpower Wright on the scoring stakes, and yeah, I think 7-3, 7-4.
Fourth game on. Interesting. We have Gerwyn Price against Gary Anderson. Now, this has been priced as a fit Gary Anderson. Now, we all know that's not the case, and I think Gerwyn Price at 2-1 represents huge value.
Absolutely, I agree, and obviously Gerwen's going to be playing in Wales in front of a home crowd. He's going to have massive support. That could work one of two ways. You know, it could pile more pressure on him, or it could put the pressure on Anderson. Anderson missed the 3 UK Open qualifiers due to injury. Any sign of that back problem from last week, and he's going to struggle. And I think, like I say, Gerwen at least plus 2.5. If not, I would take him on at the win price.
Again, I wouldn't have him as part of an ACCA because we're guessing on Gary Anderson's fitness, but as a single, I think Gerwyn Price at 2-1 looks an absolute steal.
Yeah, I agree.
Right, last game of the night, we have Barney against Mensur Suljovic. Again, the Barney army will be out in force in Cardiff.
Yeah, the Premier League is one of a select few events that Barney really seems to rise to the occasion to. I think he dug deep last week to come from 6-3 down to pick up a point. He beat Mensur 11-7 in the semi-finals of the Masters, so he's got that on him a couple of weeks ago. And I think Barney is the value of the two again to get that first win.
No, agreed. I like Barney heavily here. Mensur hasn't really lived up to the expectation since he last played in Cardiff, which was when he won the Champions League. He hasn't quite hit those heights. I know he averaged 103 last week, but I just think that Barney will have too much.
Obviously great memories for Mensur going back into that Motorpoint arena, so it'll feel like that same stage you want to pick up from where he left off. But I think Barney, again, in front of his partisan crowd. Mensur's form's just been a little bit off since he won the Champions League, so he's going to be under pressure if he doesn't manage to pick up at least a point from this. No,
I completely agree. On screen now, everyone, is our ACCA for the week. It's there. All the odds are with Unibet. Also, the title sponsors have a magnificent sign-up offer running at the moment. It's bet 20, get 50 for the Unibet Premier League. Well worth it if you haven't got a Unibet account, so I'd highly recommend that. Right, everyone, thanks for joining us here at Live Darts TV again. I'm Phil. This has been Jamie. We look forward to seeing you again soon.